Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Well, today we'll continue with president's interview, and I think those most presidents are present good examples of communication skills. So today we will focus on the interview of
The Herbert Walker Bush.
It was a very emotional weekend for me. The parachute jump with the Golden Knights, who are the best in the world, was the icing on the cake. But
So the first expression is icing on the cake.
That refers to winning a prize and getting something extra. Traditionally, they used to have contests where the prize would be a cake. So somebody could talk about it was a cakewalk, which means it was very easy to win the prize. So the icing would be something additional to the prize.
And it's also misleading. Many people may think it has to do with ice, but it doesn't, right? Icing is this
It's the frosting. It's the frosting on the cake.
it's this thin glazing, right? On
Right.
top of the cake.
Basically sugar on top of the cake.
Right. And another expression you mentioned, it's a cakewalk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something is easy. It's a cakewalk. It's a good expression as well.
We can also say that takes the cake.
Right. Someone, or that takes the cake.
That's used in a negative way. That means that somebody does something that is so offensive that they deserve a prize for what they did.
Well, not necessarily offensive, maybe unusual or crazy, right?
Generally, yeah, it could be used in a positive way as well, but usually it's a negative.
So it wasn't really scary, but once we were in the air, free falling.
Okay, next one is to free fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, free falling refers to parachute jumpers when they delay pulling the ripcord and just fall for a while. Free falling can also refer to people who are, let's say, in negative circumstances, and they're just allowing these things to continue without doing anything about it to try to improve it. So, for example, if maybe somebody's drinking too much, or you could even say somebody's free falling through life. Not very ambitious.
Someone's life is spiraling out of control, or you can say like nose diving.
Nose diving, right. These all are negative things.
I didn't worry about it and pop my ears, which I hadn't done on earlier ones.
Okay, next one is popped ears. So he popped his ears.
Right. Well, when you ride on an airplane, they reduce the pressure in the cabin. So people's ears will typically pop, especially if you have a cold or your ears are blocked. Your ears might even hurt before they pop. Same if you're swimming, if you swim down to a lower depth, when you come back up, your ears will pop.
And that means a temporary loss of hearing, right?
Well, it's actually when you're after your ears pop, you can hear better. It's before they pop that you can't hear.
Okay, and also you can have your ears popped when you are in the elevator or you're driving over a hilly landscape. Up and down, right?
Exactly.
Mr. Bush, if we could switch gears, some serious breaking news this morning.
Okay, next one, switch gears.
This would refer to stop doing whatever you're doing and doing something else. It refers to driving, changing gears, switching from second speed to third speed with a manual transmission, which was very common, not so common anymore. And people will use this expression in meetings when they feel that they've exhausted the subject and they want to move on to a new subject. So they'll say, let's switch gears.
Do you know how to drive manual transmission?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, you do?
I'm
Okay.
pretty good at it.
There are many people today who who do know, who need to
Uh-huh.
learn, right?
They're fun. A lot of fun.
Okay, so and also another word with the same meaning, also to segue, right? Let's
I've
say
heard of that. I don't personally use that expression though. I don't quite understand what it means.
to transition to something else,
Let's
to segue.
segue. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the word.
Okay, next
You
one.
can say let's transition or let's change the subject. You can say that too.
Can you give us your assessment of the Iranian elections over the weekend?
Okay, next one, assessment.
An assessment would be an evaluation. And I believe assessment refers to minerals when you're looking at an ore and you want to determine how much copper or how much gold is in the ore. And then in more common usage, it's when you're evaluating something, but in the sense that you're weighing the value of it.
So you can make an assessment of something, right?
Right, and you can use it interchangeably with evaluate. But I think assessment would be the decision, and it's supposed to sound a little bit more important than evaluation.
And the verb is to assess.
To assess, right? You could say we need to assess the situation.
Does this look like a rig election?
Next one, rigged, as in rigged election or rigged campaign.
Right. Well, a rig is generally would be some sort of non-conforming adjustment to something. Like, for example, in the olden days, if you didn't get good reception, people would put aluminum foil on the antennas. They would rig the antennas to get better reception. You can also have an oil rig or I don't know, for other things too. I suppose mountain climbers probably have various types of rigs that they use. But anyway, I think the idea of rigging, I think, is to tie things together with string or rope in some fashion. So if you rig an election, it means that you have a dishonest election. You've done something to the process to make it appear that it's honest, but it's really dishonest. Or similarly, in old movies, somebody could get their brakes rigged, where they cut the brake line so they go down a hill and crash. Or other things can be rigged too so that they break.
And in terms of campaign or election or game where people make bets, it would mean to rig, would mean to falsify, to fabricate.
Right. Or you could also, if you need to repair something and you don't have the materials to make a standard repair, you could rig something up. For example, if one of your hoses were to break, maybe you get some duct tape, you wrap the duct tape around. Or you get a piece of a clothes hanger wire to hold up your muffler. So you rig your muffler so it doesn't drag on the ground.
Right. So it's a temporary fix. It will work for a while.
A temporary fix, right? And also in ships, they have what they call jury rig. If something breaks in a storm, they jury rig it so it will work temporarily until they can get to port.
Right. To jury rig. And again, it can be used outside this ship.
The context of a ship.
Industry. Right.
Right.
And of course, I have a very high regard for Dick Cheney, so put it this way, maybe I don't have a dog in that fight.
Okay, next one is, he says, maybe I don't have a dog in that fight.
Well, that would refer to dog fighting, which used to be more popular than it is now. Now I think it's fairly secretive. The idea there is that the person doesn't have a personal involvement in the issue, and so they would rather not comment. It's just a way of saying they don't want to comment.
Yes, they don't have a stake, they don't have a bet, like in a real dog fighting where people make bets, right,
Right.
on a dog and can win or lose money.
Exactly. So if they don't have a stake in the fight, they don't really care which dog wins or loses.
And I think he's conducting himself with great honor. He's not in there criticizing the president all the time, carping away at him.
Okay, next one is carp away at something.
Carp away, that means to nag at something. And the original definition is a little unclear, but most people think it comes from the fish, the carp. The idea being that the carp will nibble away at other fish in order to get advantage over the other fish.
Or at the bite, maybe?
Well, he might nibble away their fins. The carp might nibble at their fins to weaken them so that he can, when he's ready to attack, he can attack a bigger fish. So if that's true, then the idea would be to nag, to nibble away at somebody, to try to weaken them in order to get some advantage over them.
This hyper speculation, I don't think really adds to anything.
Okay, next one is hyper.
Well, hyper refers to something that is above something. Hypo is below. So you have a hypodermic needle, that's something that's below. In this case, hyper is used for the opposite of that.
Which means intense, extreme, heightened.
Exactly. You can have hypertension. That means you have elevated blood pressure above normal. You can also say that somebody is very hyper. It means they're easily excited, very nervous. Newscasters or promoters may hype something, and that means they try to make it sound more exciting than it really might be.
They can hype interest in something, or they also can drum up. That's another expression.
They can drum up interest, right? And normally it's understood that if somebody is promoting something, that they will exaggerate their way of speaking. We also used to have what are called circus barkers and charlatans. They would sell medicine, and people pretty much understood that they were going to exaggerate the benefits that they were talking about.
Selling medicine and snake oil.
Snake oil, yes.
History is going to sort out the things he may have screwed up and sort out the things he got right.
Okay, and then the last one in today's lesson is to screw up.
Okay, well, screw up means to mess something up, to cause some type of problem to happen. The idea of screw, it's all twisted. Use a screwdriver to get it to go in. So it's also difficult to remove unless you have a screwdriver. So the idea of screwing something up is that you cause something bad to happen, usually by doing something stupid that's very difficult to undo. For example, if you spill paint on a rug, that would definitely be screwing up. Or if you screw up something on the job, that means you made a mistake and you can't easily undo the mistake.
So you can follow this by in object. You can say he screwed up the project, or you just can say he screwed up.
Or he screwed up. Or you can even say somebody is a screw up. This is a person, anytime they do something, they never do a good job. They always screw up.
And so another synonym is to mess up, or also you can say to bungle, right?
To bungle, yeah.
And also another crude way to say is to people say effed up or fucked up.
Exactly.
Okay, that's all for today. Thank you, Tom. And Tom is ESL teacher. He teaches English in the United States and outside using Skype, and you can be reached at
ESL-fullsteamahead.com.
Yes, you can click on this link and check out his website and email him. Thank you, Tom, and I'll talk to you next time.
Okay, thank you.